Welcome to another lesson of Algebra 2. This lesson is titled Graphing from Factored Form Quadratics 2.2. And today we will be learning how to determine the intercepts and vertex of a quadratic function in factored form, and then also learn how to graph the quadratic function after. We only have 4 steps, you guys, in here. We have the first step is to find the zeros. Technically, that's finding the x-intercepts. And then we have finding the vertex. I would like to remind you that on the past lesson we learned how to find the vertex, and the x-coordinate of the vertex, or the x of the vertex, is located halfway between the two zeros. So it's located between the two x's, or the two x coordinates of your x-intercepts. Okay, and then we will find the y by just plugging in the x value that we got. And then we have to find the y-intercept. I think this is the easiest one out of all of these. Because all you have to do is to plug in 0 to the given function. Right? You plug in x equals 0. And then graph additional points as needed. If you need to see how the graph looks like, then you could add additional points by just add other x values, by picking x values around your x-intercepts, and then use that to plug in more numbers. Okay, let's start. And for example number 1, we have a function f of x equals 2 times x minus 1 times x plus 3. And then be sure to indicate both coordinates of each intercept and the vertex. So we have to get our x-intercepts, we have to get our vertex, and then we have to get our y-intercept also. So let's find the zeros. All we have to do to find the zero is we take this equation right here, this function right here, and then we make each of them equal to 0. So technically, if you make this whole entire thing equal to 0, you would have to get rid of the 2. So you have to divide 2 on both sides. But when you divide 2 on both sides, would that just be 0 divided by 2? And that will be 0, correct? And that's the reason why when we're trying to find the zeros, we ignore all the a values. Or technically, that means you ignore the number outside the parentheses. And you'll just focus on the numbers, or the factors that is inside. Yeah, let's say for example, I have an x minus 1, so I'm going to focus only on x minus 1 when I'm trying to get the zeros. If I have an x minus 1 equals 0, that would lead you to an x equals positive 1. And then if you have an x plus 3 equals 0, that will give you a negative 3. So I have two x-intercepts. I have 1 comma 0, this point right here. And I have a negative 3 comma 0, this point over here. And now, I'm going to put both of my x's on the corner. I know that the x's are positive 1 and the other one is negative 3, correct? And then my next task is to find the vertex. And in order for me to find the vertex, I need this information over here. Because the x-coordinate of the vertex is located between the two zeros. Because the x-coordinate of the vertex is located in the middle of these two numbers. And so all we have to do is either look at these 2 points and find which one is in the middle, or the easiest way is that we will add both of the numbers and we'll divide that by 2. So negative 3 plus 1, that's negative 2. Divide by 2, that is a negative 1. Therefore, the x-coordinate of the vertex is negative 1. Right here. And let's see, is that negative 1 here? Yep, we're right. Now our problem is we know that the x is negative 1, but we do not know the y of the vertex yet. I'm pretty sure this one is 6, so it's negative 8. But how do we find that? Okay, let's move on. Now that you have the x-coordinate of the vertex, all you have to do to find the y-coordinate is to plug in that negative 1 in here. So I have 2 times negative 1 minus 1, negative 1 plus 3. So and then I will evaluate that. I'll solve it. So we have negative 1 and negative 1. We have negative 2. We have negative 1 plus 3. We have a positive 2. And then I'll multiply all of these together. 2 times negative 2 times another 2 is a negative 8. So my vertex is negative 1 comma negative 8. And lastly, I will find my y-intercept. To find my y-intercept, all I have to do is to plug in 0. So I'll go back to the original equation over here. And I will say, okay, that's 2 times 0 minus 1 times 0 plus 3. And if you evaluate that, you're going to get negative 6. So that's the reason why our y-intercept is at 0 comma negative 6. For now, I'm not going to require you to do additional points. Having the intercept vertex and x-intercept would be enough for a full credit. Okay, are you guys ready to try? We have graph the function f of x equals x plus 2 times x plus 4. State both coordinates of all intercepts in the vertex. Okay, let's start with our x-intercepts. We have x plus 2 equal to 0. We have x plus 4 equal to 0. Again, I don't usually show this one. I just like put all the answers, but I'm going to show this one more time. Then we don't have to do it again. You know, like put that all in details. So remember that your x-intercept, when we practiced it last class, the x-intercept is something comma 0, something comma 0, right? And then for the y-intercept, I already know one of the coordinate, which is 0 comma something. And then, of course, I still don't know my vertex. And because you will find the vertex, let's plug in, let's put our x's. We have negative 4 and negative 2. And usually, once I get a point, I always just put that in the graph right away. That way, I do not forget. So, if these are the x-intercepts, these are the point that is on the x-axis, correct? So, where's negative 2? I have a negative 2 comma 0, and I have a negative 4 comma 0. So, the pink dots, the pink points, those are our x-intercepts. Now let's get the vertex. The vertex is in red. Let's put it in red. We know from the previous step that the x-coordinate of the vertex is found halfway in between those two numbers. This is super easy, right? Because the numbers are together. So what is the number in between negative 2 and a negative 4? Negative 3, right? But what if the numbers are like way far apart from each other? Then all you can do, x of the vertex. Remember that you can just, although you don't really need to add it in here and divide by 2, because you can really tell that the number between negative 2 and a negative 4 is negative 3. But for the sake of, showing solution and remembering how to do it, I'm going to add negative 2 and a negative 4. So that we will remember that that's what we did. Okay, so we get negative 3 if we add that and divide by 2. Therefore, I know that the x of the vertex is negative 3. But knowing the x of the vertex is not enough because, yeah, you have the x of the vertex, but what about the y of the vertex? So now, let's get the y of the vertex. If you go back again to the previous page, it says in there that in order for you to get the y-coordinate of the vertex, all you have to do, you guys, is plug in into the function. Evaluate it into the f of x. So, I will plug in negative 3 into the function. Okay? And so I have, what is that one? Is that a negative one? And then this is a positive one. Altogether, we have a negative one. So let's put that point. Negative 3, negative 1. So the red point, that is your vertex. And now let's get the y-intercept. The easiest y-intercept. That all you have to do is plug in 0. So you have a 2 and a 4. So you have 8. And so the partner of that is 8. Let's put 8 over here. Where is 0, comma 8? Is that this one? And all you have to do is boom. Yeah, graph the entire thing. And this is done. You have your x-intercepts, you have your y-intercept, you have your vertex, and then you have your, you have your graph in there. Now, if you feel comfortable already, you can now do page 47 and turn that in. But if not, I'm going to go over one more example. And this one does include a fraction, right? There's a 1/4 in the beginning. First step, I'm gonna preset my numbers over here. Something comma 0, something comma 0, 0 comma something. And then, of course, for the vertex, we never know what the vertex is. There's no preset number to it. Okay? Let's start with what x-intercept. We have, remember that when we get the x-intercept, we ignore the value on the outside, yeah? So all I have to do is x plus 5. Let's put that a little bit on top. So we have x plus 5 equals 0. So minus 5 on both sides, you get negative 5. And then we have x minus 4 equals 0. We have a positive 4. And so the missing numbers are negative 5 and positive 4. And then again, so you don't forget, right away, put those two in your graph. We have positive 4. And then let's get our usually I get, right after I get my two x-intercepts, I usually get the vertex right away because I know that the x of the vertex is found in between those two numbers. So what is the number in between positive 4 and a negative 5? All we have to do is add those two numbers. And we have a fraction. The x of the vertex is negative 1/2. Or you can put negative 0.5, negative 0.5 if you want. Why don't I put that there? Let me put 0, it has to be a negative, right? Negative 0.5. And then I have 1/4, don't forget the 1/4, negative 0.5 plus 5, and then negative 0.5 minus 4. And then that's a 1/4. What's that one? 4.5, right? And then there's negative 4.5. And then if I just multiply negative 4.5 times 4.5 times 0.15 or times 1/4 is 0.625, I think. And that is your negative 0.62, I need space, 625 is the y-coordinate of your vertex. So let's put that in. Negative 1/2 right here. Negative 1/2 and just a little below 5. Okay. Lastly is our, what's this? Our y-intercept. We just plug in 0, 1/4, 0 plus 5, 0 minus 4. Then we have a 1/4, we have a 5, we have a negative 4. Okay, what is that? 1/4, that's cancel out. So we have negative 5. 1/4 times 5 times negative 4 is a negative 5. Because that's negative 20 divided by 4. Okay? So this is right here is a negative 5. And just put that in your graph. And connect. Because this is facing up, our vertex should be the lowest part of our graph. So this one. This is the minimum value. Okay, as what we call it on the previous section. Okay, today's homework, and at the same time, this is your classwork. That way you're only doing one thing. Today's classwork and homework is going to be on page 47. So on page 47, please complete 3 questions in there. Thank you, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.